hello, and welcome to Something More. How you guys doing out there? So good to be with you another Tuesday. Today's an absolutely terrific Tuesday. I don't care what nobody else says. Yes, it is. It is a terrific Tuesday, and I'm so glad to be here with you again. Welcome onto Something More. I hope you guys had a fantastic day, and it's, you're winding down some. Hopefully the day wasn't too busy, and that actually was productive for you, that you were able to accomplish some things you set out to accomplish today. So that is my hope for you. Hope you're feeling well. I'm doing all right over here in my neck of the woods. I'm hanging in there, and I'm so trying to behave myself. Are you behaving yourself? I believe, I trust you are. So welcome on to Something More. I'm so glad to see you guys, and I trust you are doing well. People are coming on in the room, so we're going to give them a little time to come on in and join the party over here on Something More. Send the message out to your friends. Share our YouTube link and let somebody know that it is time to just wind down and get to that place of consciousness for the conversation. Yes, and yes. So people are coming on in the room, and we're waiting for them to just come on in so we can get to the business of this conversation this evening that I'm so grateful to have with you. Yes, and yes. Welcome. Hello, Hopi. I see you, girl. How are you? So good to see you. Shauna K, good to see you. So good to see you. And is that Shaima? Shaima here. How are you? Good to see you. And everyone popping on in the room. As I said, it is a terrific Tuesday. We don't care what the people say. It is so, and it is so. And I'm glad that you've taken the time out to be with me this evening. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to sit with you as well. So we're in this room of transformation. We're in this room of togetherness, one with the other. And I'm grateful for this platform that we're able to do that. You are where you are. I am where I am. But we get to be together with each other. So welcome. If this is your first time joining, let me introduce myself. My name is Lady Shaw. I serve at Kingdom Mission Ministry, where my husband is pastor. You see it all here around me. Join the mission at Kingdom Mission Ministry. And it says over there, Kingdom Mission Ministry, bask in the kingdom life. We're all about the kingdom over here. Kingdom principles, living the kingdom life. Slide in the kingdom vibe, flow in the kingdom glow, and ride down the kingdom road. It's all about the kingdom here on Something More. It's about kingdom principles and using those principles to elevate our lives. So my beautiful husband, Pastor Shaw, he pastors here. They call him PG here at Kingdom Mission. So we're glad to be serving in the different capacities as God would have us to do. This platform, if it's your very first time, it is really about forward-moving thinking, forward-moving mindset. Your mind has to be there. Your mind has to be on a particular setting to move forward. So it's about forward-moving thinking, forward-moving mindset, forward-moving, juicy, delicious, conscious conversation that we all need in our lives. And forward-moving action is important, not only to talk about it, but to be about it. Be in the action of that thing we talk about. So that is what this platform is all about. We're about that forward-moving action that's in alignment with kingdom principles. Yes. So it doesn't matter where you are on your journey of life. You may be at a crawl, getting ready to walk, getting ready to run, or getting ready to take off in a soar. It doesn't matter where you are. There's always room for something more. So welcome on in the room. So we're going to get to it. Hello, everybody, as you're on this evening. Thank you for jumping on in. Thank you for being with me this evening. Don't forget to share. Send it to your sister girl out there and say, girl, come on, let's have the conversation, okay? Because we need the tea. We're going to spill the tea. We need all that good tea in our lives, yes? Yes. So it's good to be with each other. I sincerely hope you enjoyed your day, and if you didn't, you get to forget about it right now and take some deep breaths and know that it is all right. It is okay. So I'm glad that you're here. So on that No, we're going to get about the business of being here. So as always, you know how we do on Kingdom Mission. We become intentional about setting our hearts and our spirits for the conversation. So I'm going to ask you to take some cleansing breath in this opportunity. You get to take in all that is yours, all that is good, all that serves you, all that's a blessing to you. And in that same breath, you get to release everything that doesn't feel good, everything that's not serving you on your journey right now. You get to release it and toss it aside. And so that is what our cleansing breath is about. Taking in all that's good, and it's always available, because so is our God. Everything that's good, everything that is perfect, it comes from Him. So we get to take that in. So would you sit still and actually take that deep breath in as you see your chest rise? If you haven't done that, you've been breathing in and out all day without paying attention. Now you become intentional in feeling and seeing your chest rise as you take in that deep breath. So after the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3, take that deep breath in. And exhale. That felt good. We're going to do that one more time. Deep breath in. All that's good, take it in. Exhale. Our God, how excellent is your name in all the earth. We bless you. We come before your presence in Jesus' name. We are grateful for who you are. We're so thankful that we are not walking alone. We're not by ourselves, but the comfort of your presence is with all of us, your children, your daughters. And we thank you for the comfort of the Spirit. And so as we're on our journey of life, I pray as we come together in this room of encouragement, of information, of transformation, Father, that you will just begin to use this conversation to serve every single sister, wherever they are on their journey. I pray that you will minister your grace. We are so grateful for your love. We're grateful for your mercies. We're so grateful that we're held by you and we're so loved by you. And so we thank you for this moment. And we bless you forever. It is in Jesus' name we pray and we say amen. Prayer is so good. You know, what I love about prayer is not that it changes God. What prayer does, it changes us. Prayer changes us. It calms us down. It brings us into that space of realization of who we are and whose we are. And my God, that is so incredible that once you understand that, everything changes. Everything changes. So I love prayer. And I know you do as well. So we're going to get into the conversation. I hope you have something to drink. As always, I got me some what they call it, city punch in a bottle right here. So I have some water. Hopefully you have some water, some tea, just something that is soothing, calming, that you can sip on if you need it. If you're out there driving, girl, keep your eyes on the road, but plug in and listen as we get in the conversation. So hopefully you have something to drink that, you know, you can take a sip on as we get through this conversation, because you know sometimes we need to take a sip. Yes. All right, so what are we talking about? You know, we've been in a series for the past 2 weeks, and now today is no different, because this book of Ruth is talking about, we've been talking about the extraordinary woman with biblical reference to the book of Ruth. And when we're talking about this woman, I want you to know I'm not just talking about Ruth, but it is with the intention that having this conversation with you and you with me, so we could come to that full realization that that extraordinary woman is in you and I. It's not a fiction. It is not something that's not attainable. That's you and that's me. Yes, in all our goodness, in all our glory, that extraordinary woman is you. The truth is, most days when you get up out of bed, you get up being ordinary. Okay, and the difference between a woman who is ordinary and a woman who is extraordinary is just one woman put some extra on her ordinary, because we all came out being ordinary. We all wake up being ordinary. But the woman who is willing to just pay the price, to put a little bit of extra on her ordinary, she becomes extraordinary. And that is attainable to all of us as women, as sisters. All right, you are an extraordinary woman when you get up every day and decide not to go to work the way you got up. But you actually took yourself to the bathroom, did your morning routine, did your hair, did your makeup, put some cute clothes on, and show yourself to the world like, world, I've arrived. Here I am. You were actually extraordinary that day because you didn't present yourself like you woke up as an ordinary woman. You paid the price and did the extra, and you became the extraordinary woman for that day. So not only do we get to be an extraordinary woman on just one day as we choose, we can be extraordinary every day. That can be the place that we live, not visit. And I'm not interested in changing my zip code. I'm interested in living at that place where I am seen, I know who I am, that I am extraordinary. That is my birthright, to be an extraordinary woman, because it is just juicy when you know you are extraordinary. All right. So by way of our conversation for a couple of weeks, what did we unearth? What did we know? So we learned a couple things: that an extraordinary woman is not afraid to say, bye, Felicia, to leave all the familiar behind and hold on to the marvelous, because you can never get to the marvelous until you leave the familiar behind. You got to leave familiar people. Sometimes you got to leave your family and friends, situations, and you got to say goodbye and go to that place where the blessing has been designed and orchestrated for your life. The Lord has commanded a blessing for all of us, but it is at a particular place. And sometimes it will actually take you getting up and moving to your place of blessing. So we also learned that you have to leave the familiar to get to the marvelous. And we also learned that the extraordinary woman knows her assignment, and she focuses on her assignment intentionally. She focuses on her assignment. We talked about last week about broken focus, and you know that broken focus don't work. You remember my story, right? Somebody got in trouble because she had broken focus and almost lost her life. But thank God. Because of broken focus. We know that when your focus is broken, it will never serve you. And so we know better as extraordinary women, we reject broken focus. All right? So we continue on in the conversation to look at this extraordinary woman. Another extraordinary woman, right? Her name is Ruth. And basically what she has done, she basically shows the woman to the woman. She is showing the woman to the woman. She's showing us ourselves in her. That's who we are. We're extraordinary indeed. She shows you and I who we really are and how to be, simply because she had another woman in her life that paved the way for her, that showed her how to be and taught her some things she needed to learn. That's good right there. Ruth understood the power of mentorship. And that's what our conversation is a part of this evening. Understanding the power of mentorship. Having another woman who has walked the walk, not only talked the talk, but has walked the walk and has showed up in her life with certain evidences, certain results, that she stands in that place of authority. She stands in that place having the ability to mentor someone who is coming after her. So Ruth understood the power of mentorship. If you're a mother, you know how important that is, how important it is to mentor your children. And not just mothers, just those who are coming behind you, the younger generation. It is important to be able to pass something on to them. But the truth is, you cannot stand before Pharaoh until you go through the burning bush. You have to meet up with the burning bush before you can go see Pharaoh, like Moses did. Yes? Absolutely. So she surrendered. She was under tutelage. Ruth was under Naomi's tutelage, and Ruth surrendered to her mentorship, to the mentorship of her mother-in-law. She surrendered to the mentorship of her mother-in-law. And her mother-in-law had the grace for superior knowledge. She had the grace to understand certain things that Ruth did not. She had superior knowledge. She had understanding. She knew what a good man looked like. How did he show up? How could you decipher a good man? How could you identify a good man when you see one? And she was there to teach Ruth that, because it was time for Ruth to remarry, to get married again. And so she had the conversation with Ruth like, girl, you need you a man. Like, just sometimes you just know you need a man. The season has come. You know, sometimes you're going through your life and like, girl, I don't want none of them tricksters out there. I don't want a man. I don't need him. And then in process of time, as you grow, you come to the place to say, girl, I need a man. I know a lot of girlfriends that years before, or, you know, a year or two before, child, don't tell them anything about a man. But as they grow and as their hearts would heal, they would raise their hands like, I need a man. So Ruth was at that place where she's like, yes, mother-in-law, I need a man. And her mother-in-law says, don't worry, I got you, girl, I got you. So she was under mentorship because there were some things she needed to know in getting the right man in her life. So you don't just need any man. You don't just need a man, child. You need the right man. That's important. I'm going to sip on that tea. Because the truth is, we all know how difficult it is when you get the wrong man. How difficult it is when you just have a man and not the right man. So ain't nobody got time for that, honey. That's what the young ones say. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yes? So Naomi knew what a great man looked like. Her mother-in-law, she knew great men have great habits. Great men have great habits. She knew great men, they were predictable. Great men, they're wise. Great men, they're honorable. And not only are they honorable, but they will further protect your honor. They will protect you. They will risk their own lives to protect you. That's an honorable and a great man, right? A man that, you know, what we call kiss and tell, that kiss and tell, or reveals your deepest, darkest, and most intimate secret, that is not a man who honors you, or a man that you want to give yourself to. Because if he'll reveal your secret today, guess what? He'll tell somebody something you don't want them to know. So it's important to identify a man who is honorable, because he in turn will protect your honor as well. So it was time for Ruth to get a husband, and Naomi knew that an extraordinary man would be looking for an extraordinary woman. So she gave her daughter-in-law Ruth some instruction. She mentored her how to present herself, what to do, what not to do, in order to gain this extraordinary man called Boaz, not Bozo. So she got her man. Listen, an extraordinary man is looking for something particular in an extraordinary woman. He's not just looking for a regular or an ordinary girl. Trust me on that one. He's looking for the woman that has some extra on her ordinary. All day, every day. Yes, yes, and yes. So Ruth had someone to mentor her in this process of gaining a husband, to tell her what to do. At one point, if you read the book of Ruth, Naomi was telling Ruth, like, girl, don't talk to him. Girl, don't go to his barn until he's asleep. And when he's asleep, this is what you do. Don't go to him, honey. Wait for him to come to you. Let him see you. Let him see your heart. Let him see all that you possess and identify it in you. And make that decision, that important decision, to get a little bit closer to what he has seen. That's the instruction she gave Ruth. So she mentored her and she told her what to do. She told her what she needed to hear, not what she wanted to hear. And the good thing about it is that Ruth, she was teachable and she listened to her mother-in-law. Do you have someone in your life to mentor you right now? I cannot overemphasize how important this one thing is. If you've listened to people who are great, people who are successful, who have ever achieved anything great in life, they all have one thing in common, and that's a mentor. No, listen, a mentor is someone who will teach. A mentor is different from a coach or even a regular teacher. You can have many teachers and you can have many coaches, but you really can only have one mentor, at least per season of your life. Because you're not trying to get confused, honey, with too many people telling you too many different things. But a mentor is important, and God's word really support this mentorship. Joshua was mentored. Moses, before he became the leader of the children of Israel, he too was mentored. You know, our God is a God of preparation. He never allows any of us to get into anything without allowing us to be prepared. Listen, even in creation, when he created the heavens and the earth, before the woman came on the scene, he prepared Adam for her. Before he prepared the earth before trees could come forth. He prepared the waters before the fish and the whales and all that dwell in the sea could come forth. So God is always preparing. Always, he's all about preparation. And so he uses mentors to prepare us. If he's calling a prophet, he prepares the prophet through a mentor. They had to go to the school of the prophet. For what? For mentorship. If you're going to be a wife, you need to be mentored how to be a good wife. So preparation is a part of that mentorship. That is what mentorship does. It prepares you for the place you are going, not where you are. So they all have this one thing in common: proper, excellent mentorship in their lives. That's also important for you and I. At this point, at any given season in my life, I have one coach and I have one mentor. I have a coach that I am accountable to. Someone who can hold me accountable to the things I said I wanted to accomplish, to the things I said I wanted to do. Hold me accountable to be the woman I said I know I could be and the woman I desire to be. Who do you have in your life that will hold you accountable? Because if you are a person who is successful, if you're a person who has attained certain things in life, you still need a level of accountability. And that is what a good mentor will provide for you. Someone who will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So girl, get you a mentor. It's extremely, extremely important. And the truth is, your mentor, this is not going to be your best friend. All right? As I said before, every successful person became successful under the auspices of great mentorship. A mentor is not your best friend, because you know your best friend will just tell you what you need to hear and side with you and rub your back, and you know how best friends, operate. So that's not your mentor. Your mentor is not your child. Your mentor is someone who shows up in your life with a proven track record and the evidence that they have paid the price to speak into your life, instruct, and provide solid solutions. Can I say that again? A mentor is someone who shows up in your life with a proven track record and the evidence that they have paid the price to speak into your life, to instruct you, and to provide solid solutions. It is difficult to mentor someone about things which you have no evidence of that possibility. It is very difficult. It is not impossible, but it is a very difficult place to be. To mentor someone about things you have no idea about. You don't carry the evidence or the possibility of that thing. Very difficult. Like, it's very difficult to mentor, to support an alcoholic. If you've never been down that road, thank God for AA. Who do you find at AA? You find recovering alcoholics mentoring addicts, right? Because they have paid the price to be in that place of recovery. They have paid the price and have the evidence of what that person is trying to achieve, so they can speak into your life. So it is, I believe, it is difficult to mentor someone about living a debt-free life when you're living in debt, when all you know is lack and scarcity. It becomes very difficult because you don't have the evidence of the thing you're trying to speak into someone else's life. Child. It becomes very difficult about, telling someone or instructing someone about how to have a successful marriage, when your result speaks a lack of mastery in that area. It becomes difficult for someone to trust you because you do not carry the evidence of the result they're seeking. So when you're looking for a mentor, make sure that individual has the evidence of the result you're seeking. That's how you know whether or not you have a good mentor, because we can only give what we have. All right? There's a saying that the Africans love to say, and it is so good, that evidence ends all arguments. Evidence ends all arguments. So the best mentor is someone who's been down the road that you're on and came back with the evidence that your desired possibilities are attainable. You cannot afford for everyone and anyone to speak into your life. It is too important. That is your destiny right there. All right? Life through mistakes or mentors. You get to choose. Naomi gave Ruth instruction on how to get her man, her Boaz, honey. And guess what? She listened. And if you read the story, she got her man, honey. She was teachable. So it is important to understand that hearing good advice is not the key to success. Talking about what you need to do is not the key to success. Not gonna get you there. It's important, but it's not the key. So hearing good advice is not the key to success, but applying good advice is the key to living that extraordinary life. Applying good advice. You can really predict the success someone will have by their ability to follow instructions. Their ability to follow instructions. So if you're one of those sisters, just like, I don't need nobody, I have it all figured out, you're gonna, you may get there, but the journey is gonna be harder for you. It's gonna take you longer than it needed to have taken you. So, what the beautiful thing about a mentor is, it took them 20 years to really learn everything they learned. So they could pass it down to you, and that same thing will take you 2 months to master. When you have a good mentor, what took them 20 years will take you 2 months. And I'm not interested in 20 years, honey, because life is short. I'm just saying, okay? So it's important to have that individual in your life that will give you good instructions. And it's also important, if you want to be extraordinary, if you want to live that successful life, to be able to listen to good instructions. But it is important to also identify good instructions when you hear it. Sometimes pearls are dropping in a room, like that very thing that you need in your life right now that could really change everything. That one thing that could change everything, and you missed it because you didn't discern that one piece of gold could really change your entire life. So it's also very important to discern when you hear good instructions, as well as when you hear rubbish, to dismiss it and walk away. Okay? I'm just saying. All right? So you must be able to discern rubbish as well as be able to discern good instructions. How y'all doing over there? Hey, Elaine. Hey, Allison, my darling. Hi, Crystal, my sweetheart. Hi, Gina, my sweetheart. Yes, yes, yes. How you guys doing? What you guys saying over there? She says, I need a referral. I got you, girl. All right? So you have to, as a matter of fact, your past, and I've spoken about the past a couple weeks ago, I believe, that your past does not give you permission to succeed. You have to give yourself permission to succeed and to access the greatness that is within you. Your greatness is not outside of you. Your greatness is within you, but you have to give yourself permission to tap into it. Because what the word of the Lord says, that greater is he that is within you than he that is in the world. So your greatness is not outside, honey. Your greatness comes from the inside, and you have to give yourself permission to tap into it. So Ruth was a foreigner. This sister knew who she was. She was a foreigner. She was poor. She was a widow. She was a village girl. But she had integrity. She had dignity. She had humility. The crown jewel in the kingdom, humility. So your success in life is not about where you're coming from or even where you are right now. It's about the tools that you have. This woman was able to produce. Her productivity was so magnetic that when Boaz saw what she produced, he had no choice but to say, who is that woman? Who is that girl with some extra on her ordinary? Even though she was a foreigner, even though she was poor, even though she was a widow, even though she was a village girl and she was impoverished, she had something on the inside that produced something that was noticeable. Boaz had to take a second look and say, I need to talk to that sister. She had integrity, dignity, humility, and she was unwilling to pretend to be someone she was not. How do I know that? When you read, it was Ruth who initiated going to work in the field. She asked her mother-in-law, what do you think? I'm poor, but I want to work. Can I work? Was her question to her mother-in-law. And her mother-in-law gave her instructions and permission to go work that thing out. She didn't pretend that she was poor. She didn't know within herself that she was poor, but pretended like, I'm just going to wait here for somebody to bring me something. She embraced who she was right where she was. How many of us know people who for all their lives, they're just pretending to be what they're not? Like, I think we all do. Like, one hand up, two hands up, and a foot. We all know someone like that. And to take it closer home, have you ever pretended to be someone you're not? Can I just put my hand up and two hands up and out myself? That at one point in my life, that's all I did, pretended, and I pretended that everything was okay. I pretended that I was not in pain when I was in pain. I pretended that I was okay when I was not okay. Anybody know what I'm talking about, sisters? Are you willing to put one hand up, two hands up, and a foot? That means that all of you, you're saying yes, yes, and yes. Have you ever pretended that you're okay when you're not? Have you ever pretended to not be in pain when pain was all you were feeling? Have you? I'm telling you, on so many levels, I have. On an emotional level, I have, and also on a physical level, I know I have. Okay? And I'm just going to tell y'all, I'm going to show y'all my Exhibit A. This is my Exhibit A. Years ago, we were going on vacation. This is my shoes, okay? Worn only once. I purchased the shoes from Dillard's maybe about 6 years ago. Saw the shoes, went in the store, loved the shoes, purchased the shoes, tried only one foot on, and like, this baby coming home with me, this sister is sexy. I'm like, when you put this on, put your foot in it, like, somebody got to look at your feet. It's the type of, them type of shoes? Them shoes that screams hallelujah all by themselves? Yes, this is one of those. And it doesn't look like it until you put your foot in it. So that's what I did that day. I put my foot in it and I said, yes, honey. I was feeling myself that day. So we were going to go on vacation. And my husband and I, we love a good cruise, honey. We love to travel on a good cruise. So I purchased the shoes and I got me a nice little black dress because I knew I was going to go out with my husband. And honey, I need to look cute from head to toe. You know what I'm talking about. So of course we got on the ship and we were in another country somewhere out there on the sea. And the night came for this baby to come out of hiding. Okay, my husband had never seen it. And he had made reservation and we were going up to dinner. Put on the shoes the evening with my nice black dress looking cute and all, and put myself together. But when I got to the elevator, something didn't feel right with my feet. I said to myself, I don't think I'm going to make it in these shoes. My foot, my toes, my calves, all the way to my knee was hurting. But I said to myself, Petra, you got to take one for the team, girl. These shoes are cute. We got to keep these shoes on. Any price, we got to keep the shoes on. As we kept on going and we got up to the tallest deck of the ship, that's where we were having dinner. I think somehow my husband sensed that I was uncomfortable. It was just in his spirit because he carries me in his spirit. Listen, my face was not showing the brother anything that I was in pain because I was not about to let myself down. But he said, Mommy, are you okay? Because I was almost walking like two steps behind him because my feet was in so much pain. He said, are you okay? And I said, yes. Every step I took in the shoes, I felt like I was going to topple over. Every step I took, my feet hurt more and more and more. And listen, the restaurant was like 30 steps away from the top deck when we came out of the elevator, like 30 steps away. And when it looked like it was a mile away, I said I will never make it in the shoes. I was in so much pain. But honey, I was determined to look cute from head to toe. And we walked on. As I walked on, I walked as if I was going to topple over because I was in so much pain. Seriously, I was in so much pain. And I kept going. I said, Petra, you got to do this, girl. You're not going to give up. So I somehow, by a miracle, I made it to the restaurant and we sat down. So Dr. Thomas was with us, so she was already in the restaurant. So when I got there, she looked at me and she said, like a true sister would, she said, baby, she said, are you okay? At this point, my pain was so much that I looked at her and my level of pain was so much that my pain would no longer allow me to not be vulnerable in that moment to tell the truth. I said, girl, no, I said, my feet hurt. I said, Ivana, I never thought I would make it here because I am in so much pain from these beauties. And I slipped the shoes off at the table and I held up the shoes and I busted out hysterically, just laughing at myself because I could not believe that I allowed myself to go through so much pain trying to look cute. I was in pain, but refused to admit that I was in pain until I could no longer say I wasn't in pain. And I laughed. We laughed so hard when I tell you all the makeup, when I tell you laughing to the point where, when you laugh where your belly hurt and everybody's hearing you, it's just that laughter that you can't control. It was a situation like that. I laughed myself to death. I thought I was going to fall trying to walk in the shoes and being in pain, but saying that I'm going to make it. And as I was preparing this, today I was brought, and I said, do I even still have that shoes? What do you know? I went in the closet, and I found the shoes, and I started laughing to myself all over again of how I was unwilling to be vulnerable to my husband to say I was in pain. And so, of course, my husband sat at the table. We laughed hysterically. He's like, Mommy, is that what was really going on with you and you didn't tell me? But I was willing to hide. I wanted to hide myself just to appear a certain way to my husband, not wanting to be vulnerable enough. So, of course, after he laughed at me and with me, he picked up the shoes, and like an honorable and an extraordinary man does, and I'm so glad I have one, he picked up the pair of shoes and he took them back to our cabin. And he came back to the restaurant with one of my cute, comfortable slippers, and I got through the night. And I thought about this. So it was only wore once. I think I'm gonna leave it here. It is still so cute. Ain't it cute? It is so cute. Like 6 years ago, and the gold is still on the button, honey. Okay, it's that situation. Like everything is still intact. So we're gonna leave that shoes right there as exhibit. That's important, to be vulnerable. Don't ever be in pain and for one reason or another try to hide it or to pretend to be what you're not. If you're in pain, be in pain. Say you are in pain. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. I hid until I couldn't hide myself anymore from the level of pain that my feeties were going through. Rochelle says, Paula says, I'm in tears. Paula, yes, it was one of those evenings. By the time I explained to Ivana what happened, she was a mess, laughing at me that I endured all of this. I never thought I would make it to the restaurant with the shoes, but kudos to me, I made it, but I just had to give up at one point. Ivana says, comfort above looks. Absolutely. That's what Dr. Thomas is saying. You remember that day, Dr. Thomas? It was incredible. Rochelle says, girlfriend, hand these shoes over. No pain, no gain. All right? Yes, Crystal, I did, honey. Okay? It's a size 9. Somebody says, what size? It's a size 9. Paula says 8.5. They are really cute, and they're even cuter on. Like, yes, homie, somebody gonna look at your feet in that. But it's so important to be vulnerable. And the moral of the, I like to talk about the moral of the story, right? So the moral of the story is be vulnerable enough to be open. When you're about to be open to someone else when you're in pain, be vulnerable enough to be open about what you need. I mean, this could have been solved a long time ago before I got up to the restaurant and endured all that pain. But I was unwilling to be vulnerable enough with my husband because I was hell-bent on looking cute rather than addressing my pain. Some of us don't want to address the pain. We just want to pretend that it's not there. Or as long as nobody knows that I'm in pain, it's okay. And you're doing yourself a huge disservice. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable and be open about what you need. Do not pretend not to be in pain when all you feel is pain. The truth is, your vulnerability will always link you to a champion. And when I became vulnerable and I said at the table, this is my problem, it's the shoes, I'm gonna die, these shoes are killing me. Guess what? My champion arose and he says, give me those shoes and let me bring comfort to you. And he went and he brought comfort to me. So your vulnerability will always, always link you to your champion. And the longer you stay there and not say anything and refuse to be vulnerable, your champion will never show up. So he got my shoes for me, and I'm so grateful, and I laughed at my silly self. I'm such a silly girl. And I never wore the shoes again. So what do we understand? That vulnerability is not weakness. It is not weakness. Rather, it is great strength and humility. It takes great strength and humility to become vulnerable to others so they can see you. That's what Ruth did. She became vulnerable in her impoverished state, in her widowed state, in her foreign state. She became vulnerable and she raised her hands and said, can I work? All right? No one will ever benefit from perceived perfection. No one ever gets to benefit when we show up in a space being perfect. No one gets to benefit from, not even you yourself. No one gets to benefit from your pretense. Most people who are pretenders, when they go home at night anyways, those are the people who are completely depressed and cry themselves to sleep because they know what the truth is. And it takes so much energy to pretend to be what you are not. So Ruth was not signing up for that at all. She was vulnerable so that someone would see her. No one benefits from perceived perfection or pretense. Don't tell me where you are now in your life. Don't tell me how good it is without being willing to be vulnerable enough to take me on the journey of where you were. I want to know how you got here. Don't just tell me about where you are. That doesn't serve me. But you showing me your journey. How did you get here? That is what's going to serve me. Your vulnerability. All right? Don't tell me how beautiful your marriage is, honey, without being willing to be vulnerable enough with me to show me your breakdowns, to show me the time when you thought that this was it, and I'm walking away. Somebody show me where the sign. Can somebody take a deep breath on that? Matter of fact, I'm just going to sip on that one. So it's the willingness to show people, not just the glory, but show them. How did you arrive here? And what did you do? What principles did you apply? What strategies did you apply to have the results you have today? I'm not interested in the perfection. Girl, I bless you with your perfection, but I want to know, how did you get here? Because that's the juice. That's the juiciness right there. That's where I can learn in the how. Child, what you say? All right? Yes, yes. So it is our imperfections that truly serve other people and give them hope of a better future. It is our imperfections. Paul says, the Apostle Paul said in Scripture, that to the weak I became weak, so I may gain them for Christ. So if you're going to show up being perfect, you can't help someone who's weak. And the goal on the journey is to help someone on the way. But your perfection can't help nobody. All right? And I know a lot of times we've been trained to make it look beautiful. We've been trained to make it look pretty. Like somehow in my mind, I was thinking, oh no, I cannot let my husband know that these shoes are not working for me today. I'm like, it's going to ruin the whole outfit. While I was literally dying. Like, seriously. But the moment I got enough courage to say, yeah, the shoes hurts, my champion shows up. Don't be more committed to showing up being perfect than you are committed to having someone learn from your mistakes. And someone asked the question, if you read my anthology, Image in the Mirror, why did I write my story? I certainly didn't write it because I didn't have anything else to write, because I have a full book ready to go of my entire life. But I wrote that story because I know there's a 13-year-old girl out there who needs my experience, who needs my encouragement. And guess what? Perfect Lady Shaw can't help her, because she's looking and saying, how do I get there? How do I be that? How do I get to that place of that woman who is standing in front of me looking perfect? No, that's not who I want to show, because she needs me. I go to the place where she can see my brokenness. And I get to apply some treatment to that situation. That is not where you've been, but it's your ability to work. It's your ability to get up from where you are. It's your ability to say, I want to be healed. It's your ability to raise your hands to say, I need help. It's your ability to get up. It's not how many times you've fallen, but how good you get at getting up. And I had that responsibility. My story does not belong to me. And so many of us, we have amazing stories, amazing things we've been through in our lives. But no, we're trained to make everything look perfect, like we just came out. Ta-da! I've been perfect all my life. And it serves no one, not even you. And so I wrote my story with the understanding that I have a responsibility for a 13-year-old girl who is coming up after me to know that there's hope after you've been to that place of sexual abuse, after you've been to that place of physical abuse, after you've been to that place of domestic violence, after you've been to that place of sex trafficking. There is hope. No matter how dark it gets, can you be the hope for someone? So that's my why. I cried when I wrote it. And I said, God, must I? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, have it your way. I cried hot tears. And I said, God, do I really want to tell the story? And he said, because I realize that my story does not belong to me. And I have a God-given responsibility to educate. I have that responsibility to encourage everyone along the way who is assigned to me, even if we never get a chance to meet face to face. So, again, your imperfections, honey. 2, listen, it serves no one. So I hope I just release someone from the idea of showing up, pretending to be perfect. Yes? Because it won't serve you at the end of the day. It will not be a blessing to you, boo. So just stop it already in the mighty name. Okay? So, the truth is, and I'll say it one more time, it is our imperfections that truly serve other people and give them hope for a better future. Your vulnerability to allow someone else to see your pain, to see where you are. When you're vulnerable, your champion will come. The truth is, you cannot help me if you can't see me. You can't help me if you can't see me. Dignity is admirable. Elegance, absolutely desirable. Yet there is something so very precious and authentic and attractive about a woman who is strong enough to be vulnerable, who is strong enough to let others see her. Vulnerability attracts a champion. Weakness attracts strength. Failure, you know it, attracts success. Problems, they attract solutions. And lack does attract provision. How y'all doing? We're almost done with this conversation. Yes, yes. So in conclusion, this is just so juicy. You know, we just have to be delivered from certain ideologies and certain methodologies and just certain ways of being and receive freedom. The word of the Lord says that it is for this reason that Christ died, to give us freedom. And we are so trapped in making it look pretty, so trapped in, in the pretenses. And that is not our portion. The finished work of Christ has given us something completely different. He has given us complete freedom. And you and I can walk in that. So in conclusion, Ruth was vulnerable when she said, I am poor, I'm a foreigner, I'm a widow, and I'm impoverished. But she asked a very important question. She said, can I work? Can I work? I'm not looking for easy fixes. I'm not looking for a handout. Can I work? What a question. What a question. Can I work? Are you willing to work? Are you willing to work on you? Are you willing to work on your relationships? Because it does take two to tango. It's not just them. There's enough burden to be placed on you as well. Because there's some things we allow. Even in our silence, that's contribution. You can give contribution in your silence by allowing certain things to continue. That's your contribution, your silence. That created that monster. Like Eli's son. His silence created the results that his sons produced. All right, so are you willing to work on your relationships? Are you willing to work on your finances? On your health and wellness? Are you willing to work with on your relationship and your commitment to God? It takes work. Are you willing to work on your anger issues? Are you willing to work on forgiving others who have wronged you? Are you willing to work on showing up authentically? Not showing up as anybody else, but showing up in the space authentically, owning who you are, standing in your power and in your greatness. Are you willing to work on that? Are you willing to work on leaving your comfort zone and coloring outside of the lines? Are you willing to work? Are you willing to leave the familiar so you could get to the marvelous? Are you willing to work? Are you willing to work on saying yes to your assignment and focusing on your assignment? Are you willing to give your best, to give the best to yourself? Give yourself the best possible chance at the future you know is possible for you, at the future that God has destined for you. Are you willing to work? Give yourself the best possible chance of the life you know you are destined to live. Ruth says, can I work? And my question to you is, are you willing to work? Because it doesn't matter what it is, you must work. If you're going to have a great relationship with your man, you're going to have to work at it. Just like a garden doesn't become beautiful on its own, be left alone. It has to be tended. It has to be cared for. Someone has to become intentional about removing thorns and removing weeds and watering and providing sufficient sunlight and fertilizers and whatever is needed. And a great mentor will always instruct you, just like Naomi did Ruth. Yes, you can work. As a matter of fact, yes, you have to work. If your intention is to get to that place of your highest choice, to get to that place of your possibilities, to get to that place that God has designed for you to be in, the answer is yes, you must work. And so, no matter where you are on your journey of life, no matter where you are, you may be at a crawl, getting ready to walk, legs are weak, but you're walking anyways. You're going to get stronger. Just don't quit. If you're getting ready to take off in a run, or whether you're getting ready to take off in a soar, it doesn't matter where you are, you have to work. You have to become committed to the work. We have inner work we have to become committed to. You don't get to be an extraordinary person without working at it, an extraordinary wife without working at it, an extraordinary mother or parent. You don't get to be in that extraordinary space without putting in the work. Are y'all enjoying this as much as I'm enjoying this? Because, honey, I get up to go to work every day, honey. Every day. I'm committed to the work because I'm committed to my destiny. And I've already said yes, yes, and yes to my destiny, to my greatness. I'm committed to the work. I'm committed to listening to my mentor. I'm committed to listening to my coaches. I'm committed to those people who I pay a lot of money to keep me in line. I'm just saying, are you committed to invest in yourself? There goes another question. Because sometimes that is what it will take. You have to invest in you, in your future, in your possibilities. Yes, yes. I continue to invest in myself that sometimes I don't get to bed until 5 a.m. I'm just crawling in my husband's bed. And he is such an awesome man that he just holds me and just kisses my forehead when I crawl up to bed, because I am pursuing. I am in that space where at all costs I will follow through with my assignments and with the instructions of my mentor. Right? So no matter where you are on your journey of life, be vulnerable enough to let people see you. Let them see you. It's okay. Let them see you, because you are beautiful wherever you are. You are beautiful wherever you are. And when you allow people to see you, what you need will come to you. But when you pretend and when you hide, you now become your own worst enemy when you're pretending to be what you're not. So be willing to be vulnerable enough, like Ruth did. And she allowed herself to be seen, and she was dedicated to the work. When Boaz asked, "Who is that girl?" The response was, "That's Ruth, Naomi's daughter-in-law. And this woman has been producing from morning till evening. She did not take a break. Her productivity was magnetic." And Boaz stood up and said, "I think I see a woman with some extra on her ordinary, and I kind of like it, and I gotta have it." Yes, yes. So no matter where you are on the journey, be vulnerable enough to let people see who you are, and ask the question like Ruth did: can I work? Can I work? Working is your responsibility to first become aware. Working is your responsibility to first become aware. Then you learn. That's the process of learning. You don't learn on day one. You become aware of the concept, of the idea. So you become aware of it. And then you learn it by repetition. And then you apply it. It is the application that gets the result. It's good to become aware, and it's good to learn. But if you stop there, you will never be transformed. Your results will never show up the way you're intended them to. You have to be in application. So you become aware, you learn, and then you apply. And that's the work we do. You learn and apply the kingdom principles to produce evidence that is congruent with the life God has called you to live. Produce evidence that is congruent with the life that God has called you to live here in this earth realm, and showing up everywhere you go as an extraordinary. A woman who is ordinary, but has put in the work to put some extra on her ordinary. Are you willing to work? I love you. Thank you for sitting in conversation with me this evening. I so appreciate your time and your presence. I realize you could be doing so many other things, but you've taken time to sit in the room with me as I am with you. We're connected at the heart, and I appreciate this opportunity to speak with you, to be in conversation with you, and I celebrate you wherever you are. I want you to know that I love you. So until next time, keep on looking up, for you're something more. I am your sister in purpose, in possibility, and in love. You are possible. And get to the work of you. Get to that work. Don't be afraid to work, because it will yield great fruits. It will yield the results that you're looking for. If you have not yet hopped over to my website, I'm sure my administrator will put it in the chat there somewhere. Just go on over to my website. If you have not gotten a copy of my book, Image in the Mirror, please get a copy and read. I'm sure something in this book will serve you in a fantastic way. I love you and I appreciate you, and God bless you. So until next time, take good care of you, keep on doing your work, and walk good. Bye. Take care.